Hello everybody, welcome back. Today we are doing the Tarkir Dragonstorm set review. We're going to be doing all of the blue cards, rating them 1 through 10. If you guys missed the introduction to Tarkir, where we go over new and returning mechanics, draftable archetypes, or white, you guys can go check those out. They're already live. We've got Yanks on the call, and we are going to be doing all of the blue cards. How you doing, Yanks?
Pretty good. Time for the best color in Magic.
Boo! But in limited, it's fine. There's not so many
You
counter
mean
spells.
blue?
Yeah, blue. All right, so let's go ahead and just jump straight in. Again, 1 through 10, and make sure you guys check out the introduction. That's definitely the most important video. Aegis Sculptor, 4 mana for a 2/3 flying with Ward 2. Already in, seems great. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may exile 2 cards from your graveyard. If you do, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature, which is good because Teamer and Sultai kind of want to be doing this anyway. Like, there are cards that trigger when you remove a card. Putting counters on something, this seems good. It just becomes more and more unreasonable. It's a good body on its own. Yeah, this seems good.
Yeah, you want to make sure you're finding cards that just generically care about exiling things from your graveyard, because like the Sultai and Teamer mechanics let you exile things from your graveyard, but for their abilities that won't count for this.
Yeah.
So I guess kind of the question will be how easy it is it to fill your graveyard? Guessing probably not that hard.
Yeah, but those, like you said, those cards remove themselves. But there aren't a ton of cards that remove other cards that don't have those abilities.
Yep.
So, but there are cards that trigger when things are removed. So this is just another one of those, and it turns your cards that don't remove themselves into an enabler for those cards that say whenever you remove a thing, draw a card, like that idiot bird we saw, like the signpost.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is just another one of those that's going to turn all of your instants and sorceries and creatures into triggers for something your deck is already designed to do because of the mechanic that's built into your archetype. So I think this is a really good card as far as what those colors are trying to do, and I want to be removing more cards from my graveyard. So it's a little low statted, but like, even if your deck doesn't do any of that stuff, like, you're gonna have a couple of cards here and there to get rid of to put counters on this, and once it becomes a 3/4, you're pretty happy. So 6.
Yeah, it's pretty easy for it to attack as a 3/4. The first turn it can attack.
Yeah.
Because you can do it on your upkeep. So yeah, like that, and plus the bigger it gets, the more valuable it is for Harmonize as well.
The more cards you have that trigger when things leave the graveyard, the better this will be. So I think like Teamer is going to play this up into like the 7 range, but I think in general it's just a 6.
I think so as well.
All right.
Next up, we've got Agent of Kotis, 1 in a blue for a 2/1 human rogue with Renew. This is the Sultai clan ability. 3 in a blue. Exile this card from your graveyard. Put 2 +1/+1 counters on target creature. Activate only as a sorcery. Again, it's a 2-drop that provides some value later. Trade it off early and get some use out of it when you have some free mana later on.
Yeah. Because there are so many good cards that trigger when things leave the graveyard, I feel like these abilities are going to be better than they seem. Not because you really like the Renew itself. Like, what it does is like fine. The creature, it's like understated. So then it like mitigates with the Renew. You're still not that happy, but really the payoff I think is going to be attached to a different card. So this is sort of like one of those synergy pieces that you need to make like good cards powerful. So for that reason, I think that this is something we're looking to do quite often. I'm going to say this is a 6.
I think so too, just because you always are looking to fill your 2-drop slot, and being able to do it with something that has other value is nice.
Yeah, definitely. Next up, we have an Ambling Stormshell. I love the turtles. 5 mana for a 5/9 with Ward 2. Whenever this creature attacks, put 3 stun counters on it and draw 3 cards. Whenever you cast a turtle spell, untap this creature.
So just looking quickly, at least in just mono blue, there are no other turtles. There may be some multicolor ones. Sometimes green gets turtles, but there are no other blue turtles.
Interesting. I mean, let's pretend that there are no turtles. Do we like this card? Do we like attacking once every couple of turns and drawing 3 cards? I think I like it.
I think I do too, also because I'm fine with, in a lot of blue decks, just having a giant 5/9 that they can't attack through for a while, and then whenever you're stabilized or you think you don't need to worry as much about them crashing in on you, then you can attack and draw 3 cards.
Yeah. You play it on turn 5, you get blocks for a couple of turns, and then you turn it sideways and you effectively use it like a better divination, right? Like, you draw the cards, you don't have the creature for a few turns, but like, that's okay. Huh. There might be other things that untap target creature as well that maybe like can help you with the stun counters, but that's kind of neither here nor there. I think I'm playing this card. I'm going to call it a 6.
I think that's right. If we see a whole bunch of other things that untap stuff, maybe figure out a way to make this a little better, but probably just 6.
All right. Bewildering Blizzard. 6 mana. 6 mana. Draw 3 cards. Creatures your opponents control get -3/-0 till end of turn. So what the hell? Card advantage plus blow you out.
Seems pretty gratuitous, this card.
I mean, I usually don't like the ones that cost 6 mana that do all these like haymaking-y stuff, but that's a pretty nutty set of abilities. I'm kind of into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of times this card is just going to be 6 mana, draw 3, which is okay.
I think sometimes it's going to be 6 mana, kill your opponent's board.
There will be some for sure.
So I'm into this. I think oh God. It's so hard. Like, I'm going to cut it most of the time. But here's the thing. I feel like the times I don't cut it, it's going to be powerful.
Yeah, I think this is mostly just like a 5.5.
Yeah.
Partly
I think it's like a 5.5 in name, in that you're cutting it like a good chunk of the time. But when you cast it, holy shit, I think you're going to like rock people.
Yeah, I think you're going to cut it a decent amount, and there's just only so many 6 mana spells you can put in your deck, especially if they don't have some way to mitigate their costs.
And Jeskai really wants you casting multiple spells, so this is cool. I think I'm going to try to run this card a fair amount. Yeah, I like it at like a 6, 5.5. That doesn't make the cut very often, but when you do,
this is a card that I sit there with mana open and don't do anything and draw cards. I should love this card. But
yeah, that seems like a U card for sure.
Next up, we have Constrictor Sage. 5 mana, 4 and a blue for a 4/4 snake wizard. When this creature enters, tap target creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. It has Renew. 2 and a blue, exile this card from your graveyard, tap target creature an opponent controls, and put a stun counter on it. Activate only as a sorcery.
There was Modern Horizons 3. There was like a 4/4 for 5 Yeti that put a stun counter on something when it ETB'd. That card was good. You had to have like a snow mana or something in play.
Yeah, it was MH2, but yeah.
So this just MH2 does that. The snow stuff.
Yeah.
I think he put more than one stun counter, but I'm not sure. But this also has the Renew ability, which is synergistic in and of itself. This feels solid. I think I'm going to play this. I've underestimated stun counters in the past. Granted, it's only one. But I've definitely had people just like play that shitty spell that puts 3 stun counters on something and doesn't do anything else. And I'm like, oh, that card's not good. Card advantage, woo. And then like they're like, haha, play 2, kill you. And I'm like, oh, crap. So this is going to be really cool with like aggressive, like larger creatures. I think Teamer's going to be really happy with cards like this.
Definitely.
Yeah, I think this is a solid card. It's like a 6.
I have a 6.
We have Durger Island Dragon. 6 mana. You can cast it as an omen. You can tap up to 1 target creature and draw a card, or you can have a 4/4 flying with Ward 2. Neither side I care about, but flexibility I love. And it's a dragon, which is relevant sometimes. This feels like a 5. Pretty borderline playable.
Yeah, I mean, your worst case is you're cycling it, basically. I mean, there has to be a creature on, but um, yeah, I think I'm with you on that 5 range.
All right. Dispelling Exhale. 2 mana. Additional cost, you may behold a dragon. Counter target spell unless they pay 2. If you beheld a dragon, they have to pay 4. Not interested.
Yeah. I think this card's okay. It's playable, but not exciting.
I think it's only playable if you have oodles of dragons. Like, I am not interested in casting this not being able to behold.
No, agreed.
So it's like the average deck does, this is like a 1, and then in the dragon deck, like, it's probably a 4. I'm still probably cutting it some good amount of the time.
I have a feeling we're going to have more dragons in our decks than we think, just because we are seeing them at common, which is not normal.
Yeah. But like the last one we just saw, it's not a dragon I'm happy to play. And then putting cards like that in so I could play this card, which I'm also not happy to play.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think the card's good. I just think, I think it's, more like a 4.
Yeah, I think it's a 4 in the deck with dragons, and then outside of that, it's absolutely not. So for me, for the average deck that is not built around beholding, then I'm just not playing it.
But I mean, here you've got a dragonologist, so you have to have dragons.
Yeah.
It's a 3 mana 1/3, 2 and a blue human wizard. When it enters, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an instant, sorcery, or dragon card from among them and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom in a random order. Untapped dragons you control have hexproof.
Holy shit. Hexproof.
So it's a nice little callback to, this is just the art. Seems like a Jeskai type card, and throw it back to the original like Dragon Lord Ojutai that had hexproof when it was untapped. Yeah, I mean, it's top 6, so you're looking at like 20% of your deck probably by the time you play this.
Yeah. I think a good amount of decks will be happy to run this, even if they have like, 3 dragons, 4 dragons. Like, you don't need to have an excess amount when you're going 6 deep. Because sometimes you miss, but that's okay. But sometimes you just get a free 6/6 out of your deck or whatever. And it's like, not only is it, let's say you don't have the good common and uncommon dragons. Like, you just have like 1 or 2 rare dragons. Those are your bombs. Like, a chance to go 6 deep for the best card in your deck. Like, I'm kind of fine to just throw that in sometimes.
Oh, and you can just hit removal spells, right? Instants and sorceries you can hit.
Oh, I thought it was just dragons.
No, instant sorcery or dragon.
Oh, shit. Okay, never mind. Okay, this card's an 8, moving on.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even need dragons. It's just good. Just get a removal spell. Call it a day. All right, sweet. That's way better than I thought. I thought it was just dragons. I was like, cool. It's like, if you've got 1 bomb, like, that's a good roll of the dice. But no, it's just good. Dragonstorm, 4-caster, 1 mana for an 0/3. Can pay 2, tap, search your library for a card named Dragonstorm Globe. Or Boulder-born Dragon. Reveal it, put it into your hand. And you can do this over and over again. It's not a sack ability.
Yeah. So both those cards are commons. They're common artifacts. One is a 3 mana rock that also makes your dragons get extra counters on them when they come into play. The other is a 5 mana 3/3 dragon that surveils when it attacks. So not great, but you're in this case theoretically getting them for free, sort of. But you're also playing an 0/3 to get them.
And you have to pay.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a deck for that, but I don't think I'm interested in it. So I'm going to say that this is a 1 in the average deck.
Yeah, if somehow you get like a Boulder-born Dragon 13th and then pick up a 11th pick Dragonstorm Globe and you end up with like 3 total copies of these, maybe you get one of these late and throw it in your deck, but that's about it.
Yeah. I would say it's a 1.
Yep. Agreed.
Because even if you do it, I'm not entirely convinced you want to. Like, even if you
it's not exciting.
Like, it's like, oh, I've assembled Exodia. It, buys you a coffee or whatever. Like,
yeah, it feels like your ideal scenario is you play this on 1, on 2 you go get the mana rock, On 3, you play it, and then on 4, you get to play a 5-drop dragon that's 1+1/+1 bigger.
And
Like,
you were
that's a lot of work,
on
and
the
that's not that
draw, and
exciting.
Mardu killed you.
Yeah, that's not that exciting.
All right. Essence Anchor, 3 mana for an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, surveil, and you can tap it to create a 2/2 black zombie druid creature token. Activate only during your turn, and only if a card left your graveyard this turn. You have to have a pretty synergistic deck for, I think, for me to want this. Especially because cards that have harmonize, or cards that want you to remove cards to put counters on themselves or something like that. I don't want to feel like I have to save those things because I have cards like this in my deck. I don't want anything that forces me to not use my cards to the best of my ability because I need those in there for this to be a good payoff later.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the play pattern they're envisioning, right? Which is like, you surveil or renew card into the graveyard and use it, and now you got a 2/2 in addition.
Yeah.
Okay, that's kind of cool, but it does come with a lot of restrictions, like you're saying.
But in a board stall, you top deck this, and you're in a board stall, so you've exhausted all of your resource, right? Like, you've used your harmonize, you've used your hand, and now you're dirtling with this out. I don't know. It doesn't feel good enough for me. I'm gonna say there will be a really, really good synergistic deck that's got a ton of exile and a ton of harmonize and a ton of recursion stuff. But like, the average deck, I think, is just not going to have enough for me to be interested in it. So I'm going to say this is like a 3.
Yeah, it also just kind of feels like slowly making 2/2s just isn't enough.
No.
So yeah, I like it as a 3. You know, somebody will beat me with this card and I'll get annoyed.
Yep.
But it's
Focus the Mind, 5 mana. This spell costs 2 less if you've cast another spell this turn. Draw 3 cards, then discard a card. 2 less, so it costs 3. So it's just better divination as your second spell. I like it. You want to be playing 2 spells, and when your second spell draws you more turns, so you can more spells, so you can do it again next turn. That feels like a good day to me.
Yeah, I'm hoping we see like a better like 2 mana counterspell than the Exhale, because like I can just see a great, you're holding up 5 mana to play this, and then to turn they play something, you counter it, and then you still get to play this because it only costs 3 now.
Yeah. I mean, that's cute and all, but I think like a lot of the flurry maybe is like, get +2/+2 until end of turn. So like you might be mitigating a lot of your flurry abilities from that play pattern. But yeah, it's cute, sure. But you're right. You can hold open your counter and your card draw. And if they don't cast anything, you can still probably have enough mana to cast it. And if they do, then you still have enough mana to cast both, which is nice.
Why are you assuming I have creatures in play?
Because you usually have at least like 3 in your deck.
Yeah, but I draw them from this.
Rating wise, I think it's fine. I think it's exactly what Jeskai wants to be doing, but it's not bad for anything else either. So it's a solid card no matter how you do it. Like, you want to be double spelling in every color. It's just how important is it? So I think this is a playable card. I'm gonna say this is like a 6.
Yep, 6 is where I have it.
All right, Fresh Start, 2 mana. Enchant Aura. Creature gets -5/-0 and loses its abilities, and this has Flash. Those are always solid. I think this is like blue's like pretty hefty enchant. It doesn't tap it. I like the tappy ones because then you can kill them, but this one doesn't tap. So 6?
Yeah, it's probably a 6. It's nice that it's cheap. A lot of times blue removal is pretty expensive. So it being cheap, and which is nice for Jeskai's double spelling, gives you the, double spelling on your opponent's turn can sometimes be hard to do, and this might help you be able to do that, which could lead to some, if you do for some reason have creatures, I don't know why you'd want them, but maybe you can win in combat that way.
Yeah.
With the flurry creature.
So you like it at 6?
I like it at 6.
All right, next up.
High Spire Bellringer. 2 and a blue for a 1/4 Djinn Monk with flying. And the second spell you cast each turn costs 1 less to cast.
I thought you said Gym Monk. I was like, damn. And then I was like, how swole is he? And then I looked and I'm like, he doesn't look that swole.
Do you even lift, bro?
It's fine. Flying it enables the mechanics that you're trying to do. So it seems good. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very defensive card, but that's kind of what blue often gives you.
5.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
It,
5
it,
sounds good.
it's enabling the other things that you're trying to do in those colors without actually doing it itself, which is nice.
Yep.
I don't know what this card does.
Humbling Elder. I'm not going to pretend like I can read that. Although I can read Kurichua for creature in Japanese, but the rest I can't read. Humbling Elder, blue for a 1/2 human monk with flash. When this creature enters, target creature an opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn.
And it has flash?
Yes.
Okay, so it's just like the froggy idiot. I like these cards.
Yeah. Yep.
I always play one of these. I'm very happy to do so. At 1 mana, that's a steal. This is a 6.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like I want something to do with this body afterwards, but again, it's just another nice thing for Jeskai. Again, gets another nice little cheap.
It's a cheap
1 mana
creature, so you can play more than one spell. It you can enable it on their turn, your turn, and like it probably let you kill a creature. Like even if the body's useless after that, like that's fine. I still got to combat trick him. He's free. He's bonus. He's combat trick plus body. So do you agree with the 6?
Yes, I agree with the 6 on that because you are, like you said, getting a body on top of the combat trick.
All right. Ice Ridge Serpent, 5 mana for a 3/3. When it enters, return target creature and opponent controls to its owner's hand. I always like this ability, but it's a little expensive. Like I'm used to seeing it on a slightly cheaper, smaller creature. So I don't know how I feel about it.
It's weird because, Mana War's been around since Visions, and most cards have gotten sort of power crept up, most creatures, and that was up 3 mana 2/2 with an ability. 5 mana 3/3. That's like power creeping it down.
There was a wizard that was 6 mana, but you cost 3. I think 3 less if you had another wizard. So it was kind of like
original Dominaria, I think.
So like kind of met in the middle a little bit. Yeah, so this it's weaker than normal, but I still think I like the ability. My concern is that the 5-drop slot's going to be too chunky for this. So I'm going to assume it'll be a little bit mediocre. So I'm just going to say 5.
Yeah, I do really like this effect.
Me
that
too.
Is a lot of mana.
It hurts my soul to rate it poorly, but
yeah.
Like I'm paying an extra like 2-ish mana for, one points worth of stats. That's the thing I care the least about. I just want the bounce to be good and timely.
Exactly. It's not even a dragon, which could at least be relevant here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably incorrectly give it an extra half point just because I like this ability too much, but I can say it's a 5.5, but it probably should be a 5.
All right. We're still very close. Next up, we have the Ishla Trawlers. 3 mana for a 3/2. When this creature enters, you may exile a creature card from your graveyard. When you do, return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. So it's enabling plus card advantage. This card's excellent. I like this card a ton. This is 7.
Yeah, I think this card is great. Gives you multiple triggers for cards leaving your graveyard. Yeah. Replay, buy back your removal, card draw, whatever it is. 7 seems great.
And trigger your idiot bird and win the game. Huzzah.
Yeah.
All right, now we're seeing the first omen that's like a rare and a dragon. Let's see if it's any good. 6 mana. You can either draw 3 cards, then discard a card for 4, or you can have a 6/7 with flying that when this creature enters, return 2 other target non-land permanents to their owner's hand. Oh, I really like the dragon side of this. It's a great rate.
I know we're going from a common to a rare from Ice Ridge Serpent, but you're paying 1 extra mana for 3/4 in stats, flying, a second bounce, the ability to bounce your own stuff if you want to, non-land permanent as opposed to creature, plus an omen, and it's a dragon.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
I feel like if you cast this, you're kind of winning. The bounce is such a good ETB effect that even if they kill it on the spot, I'm pretty happy. I'm going to say this is like a 9.
Yeah, you have to think you're going to, if they kill it immediately, you're trading for a card, trading for some amount of mana, at least I would imagine 3 or 4 mana, plus all the mana they have to spend to recast those two things, or even one thing, and maybe you get to buy back an ETB or something.
And I can't imagine red can kill this very easily. It's got a chonky donk.
Yeah, I mean, this is you're talking black or white or multicolor removal.
Yeah. I mean, even the -5, -0, you still get to put in some work from
Yeah,
the blue enchantment, right?
Yeah, you're looking for like the crackling doom type effect from the original cons to sacrifice the biggest creature or something to get this thing dead.
What do you think, rating wise?
I like it as a 9. I mean, we haven't even really talked about the Omen, and it's still great with even before that. And if you're stuck on lands, not only do you get to play this, it goes back into your deck. You can still redraw it.
Yeah. All right. Next up,
Naga Fleshcrafter. 3 and a blue for a 0/0 snake shapeshifter. Say that 3 times fast. You may have this creature enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield, so it's a clone. And it has renew, 2 and a blue, exile this from your graveyard, put a +1/+1 counter on target non-legendary creature you control. Each other creature you control becomes a copy of that creature until end of turn. Activate only as a sorcery. So, I mean, clones are good, right? It's always equal to the best thing on the battlefield.
And then it makes for 1 turn, it makes all of your creatures the best thing on your board that's not legendary.
Yes.
That seems good.
Yeah, and we're seeing, I mean, we're in a dragon set. Yes, we're in a Tarkir world with clans and a decent number of legends. But these dragons, a lot of them are not going to be legendary unless they're named.
The last one wasn't.
Yep, even the rare ones. Yeah, like
all my idiot 2/2 soldiers now are 6/7 flying dragons. What are you going to do about it?
Yeah.
Your opponent's going to have to like not kill this, right? They can't let this enter your graveyard at a certain point, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, or they have to have removal up to, kill the thing you target with this in response.
Yeah. So let's say 8.
Yeah, I like it as an 8.
All right. Next up, we have the Ringing Strike Mastery. 1 mana for an aura. When it enters, tap enchanted creature. It doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, and the enchant creature has pay 5, untap the creature. They usually can't untap it, but this also usually costs 4 or something. So
what card is this callback to from original cons? It's almost identical to a card from cons.
That was like a million years ago.
I was just what I remember, because it's a really weird name for a removal spell. It was called Singing Bellstrike.
I do remember that name rings a bell.
Yeah. So it was 1 in a blue. It had the same thing, enchant creature, tap enchanted creature, doesn't untap, and you had to pay 6 to untap it. Mm-hmm. So it's got a similar name, like Singing Bellstrike, Ringing Strike Mastery, and it's just a little cheaper, but it's also a little cheaper to untap it. So it's a little worse as a removal spell.
Yeah. You could put this on your own turtle and untap it faster.
Yes, you could pay 15 to buy out all the stun counters.
Yeah. Now you get to attack with your turtle 1 turn sooner and keep drawing cards more often.
That you don't have mana to play because you've spent it all on tapping this guy.
Easy. I think
is
this
that
is
a cookie? If you untap your turtle with Ringing Strike Mastery?
I think this is like a 5. It's borderline if you're desperate, but I'm not usually interested in removal spells that are this flimsy.
No, this was like a good tempo-based removing spell, but that's not so much Blue's game, although it could be good in Jeskai just because it's cheap, so it's a removal spell you can double spell with.
Yeah. Rating?
But yes, I like it as a 5 as well.
All right. Riverwalk Technique, 5 mana, choose 1 at instant speed. The owner of target non-land permanent puts it on... the owner of target non-land permanent puts it on their choice of the top or bottom of their library. That was just worded really strangely in my brain for some reason. It didn't want to structure the sentence in that way. Or you could counter target non-creature spell. 4 mana bounce that doubles as a like removal gotcha. Like, negate is a card that I want to put in my deck but never have the spots, so having it in there for free is kind of fun. And a bounce is okay. So like, I don't like either of these well enough to put them in my deck, but together maybe it's fine. So like 5.
I like that the two modes basically, ETBs aside, give you an answer to both all types of spells, right? You can counter the non-creatures, and the creatures you can just let resolve and then bounce back to the top of their deck or bottom, depending on what it is.
Yeah. Both of these are like the weakest version. Like both sides of it are like the weakest versions. Like my bounce spells I typically like to be better than 4 mana. But I mean, it doesn't just bounce it to their hand. It does put it on top of their library. So that's on the higher end actually. And then the negate's just a bonus. So maybe putting it on top of your library makes it a little bit better. I can see myself playing this. 6.
Yeah, I think it's a 6 as well. It seems like the kind of card blue is going to be happy to leave up, and we've seen a few like card draw spells you can cast if you don't get a target for this, or something like that.
Next up, Roiling. What?
Sorry, I was saying another Dragonstorm. I sense a cycle.
Roiling Dragonstorm, 2 mana for an enchantment. When this enchantment enters, draw 2 cards, then discard a card. When a dragon enters, return this enchantment to your hand. I like these kinds of cards. I think this is really cool. Pretty straightforward. You want dragons, so I'm going to just kind of rate it on assuming you have dragons, because if you don't, then why are we having this conversation? So medium-y dragon, average to high end of average dragons. Draw 2, then discard a card. So it's not great. You got to do this a couple of times. This feels like
I think this card is gonna play well because the clans that it's in can get extra value here. You either get a cheap spell and get to draw more cards for Jeskai, but the other two you have cards that actively want to be in the graveyard in Renew and Harmonize. So you can draw 2 and discard like half a card because you can still play the Harmonize side or something like that. Like like flashback with like discarding Lingering Souls and getting to play it again.
Yeah. I mean, I slightly disagree. Like, yeah, it's good putting those things in the graveyard, but like, I don't know that a lot of them actively want to be in. A lot of like the creatures with Renew are just better when they're on the battlefield, and then they do a little something when you renew them. So it's free to put them in, but like they don't necessarily want to be there. No,
you're right. I guess they have value being in the graveyard.
Yes. So you don't have
to. More what I meant.
I'd rather discard an extra land.
Agreed.
But I still think this is fine. If you don't have if you have like an average number of dragons, it's not going to make the cut for me. But if you've got some, I would say that this goes up and is playable at like a 5. So I'm just going to call it a 4 and then say that, you'll know when you want this. It'll go up to 5 or 6 depending on your dragon count.
Yeah, I'm going to say a 5, and I'm tempted to put it higher. I'm just afraid that format might be too fast for something like this.
Yeah, agreed.
We just don't know yet. We've seen a decent number of fast formats recently, and that's all that Mardu wants to do. Like, you don't want to be doing this on the draw on turn 2 against Mardu.
Agreed. Sig Appraiser, 3 mana for a 2/1. When this creature enters, look at the top 2 cards of your library and put them into your hand and then the other into your graveyard. Oh no. Airball's going to take forever resolving this. I can't let him play this in Commander or Limited ever.
Oh, come on, it's only 2 cards. It's not 3 like Expressive Iteration.
Yeah, I like this card because it is fueling. Like we saw that other idiot bird that you can remove 2 cards from a graveyard to put a counter on it. So even if you're not putting, like you said, those cards that give value from being in the graveyard, like there's still other things that want to be there. So it fuels both, right? It's giving you a card, it's a body, it's a little highly costed, but it's fueling your graveyard, fueling your hand. I think this is nice.
See, Airball brings up a good point. He's not casting this card. It's a creature.
Yep, fair enough. Aren't you supposed to be doing patron games? Go back to work. What do you think rating wise? I think it's like a 6. I'm pretty happy with this card.
Yeah, I think so as well. Just some card selection might get some value, even if it's not a card you want to put in your graveyard. Just we saw that Aven that wants to exile cards that can get you some value. So yeah, I like it as a 6.
All right, moving on. We have the Snow Melt Stag. 4 mana for a 2/5 elemental elk with vigilance. During your turn, this creature has base power and toughness 5/2. So it attacks real big, blocks real big. And it can't be blocked this turn for 7.
We've had the blue every once in a while, or fairly frequently even, has these like pay a crap load of mana to give something unblockable as a finisher. The fact that it gets to stay as a blocker too is nice because it's vigilant.
Yeah. This is a hard card to evaluate. I think he's cool. At only 4 mana, I think I'm willing to play this card. So it's a little awkward, but it's got vigilance, so I don't really care. I'm gonna say it's like a 5.
Yeah, I could just easily see this play. This is a 2/5 as a blocker, and then every once in a while you're gonna bounce one of their things and get a free hit in for 5.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, I think this is certainly playable. 5 sounds about right.
All right, Spectral Denial, X and a blue. This spell costs X less to cast for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. Love to see the teamer stuff here. And then you counter target spell unless its controller pays X. So you just get to have even more. And this is already a thing. Syncopate, right? We haven't seen that in a while. And it's Syncopate on steroids because you get a few free pips in teamer, basically.
Yeah, you just don't get to exile the spell. Like Syncopate.
That's fair. But that's usually not super relevant, like depending on the recursion. There seems to be less of a recursion theme here with Sultai than there typically is as well. Right? They're not focusing on recurring so much as they are...
No, renewing.
Renewing, yeah. So
yeah, it loses some value against renew and against harmonize, but otherwise it's a syncopate. It's better syncopate for everything else.
I've never minded playing syncopate in limited. You got to be a little careful if you have if your opponents have mana dorks and stuff, but I find these cards fine to play. 5.5.
Yeah, I think that sounds right.
All right, next up.
We get Stillness in Motion, 1 and a blue enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. Then if your library has no cards in it, exile this enchantment and put 5 cards from your graveyard on top of your library in any order. So it's a really slow Doomsday.
This is constructed playable, right? Like, I get... It doesn't kill you because it lets you exile, put cards back on top, and it's going to quickly mill all of your graveyard synergies into the graveyard and let you use them, like harmonize and stuff. But I don't think I care. So, 1.
Yeah, it doesn't kill you until you mill down to 1, draw your card, and then they kill this and you're dead next turn.
That's true. If they kill this in response, that's pretty funny.
Yeah, this is not playable. Unless there's a donate in the set that we haven't seen and we can give this to our opponent.
Yep. All right. Next up, we have one of our named characters. The Taigam Master Opportunist, 2 mana for a 2/2 flurry. So when you cast your second spell, each turn copy it, then exile the spell that was cast with 4 time counters, and so you get an extra copy. We looked at this in our introduction to dragons, and it seems good. I like it. 2 mana, 2/2 does something really, really cool in the archetype. Seems game ending, but easy to kill. So 9.
Yeah, because you play this, if you're not playing this on 2, most likely. If you play this on 4 and then immediately play a spell, you've gotten some value at it, even if they kill this. It's delayed value, but you're getting it.
Yeah. But if you're doing it on 4, you're getting a double 2-drop, which I'm still not willing to call a 10.
No, for sure.
So I think this is certainly game ending. If it gets to do its thing, it's just it takes a little bit of time, and it takes cards. You have to have cards in hand too. So What's your rating?
Yeah, I think I like 9 as yeah.
Excellent. Now we have Teamer Devotee, 2 mana, Defender, 3/3. And then he makes the Teamer Filter mana, which I like. He is a good blocker, good mana cost. It's still just kind of filler, but like I am all for my creatures helping fix my mana. So I am going to say that this is a 5.
Yeah, Wizards loves their blue 2 mana 3/3 defenders. Most of the time recently it's got like this can attack if. In this case it's just a mana filter, which might be more valuable, actually. So yeah, I like it as a 5.
Awesome. All right, Unending Whisper, 1 mana for a sorcery, draw a card, and it has Harmonize, which just means you get to cast it from your graveyard. If you remove it from your graveyard, reduce the cost by X, where X is its power. Yeah, cast it from your graveyard, so it's got like a weird convoke situation, and it removes it from the graveyard. Is this like... It's weird because it feels Teamer, because you want that power, but like 1 mana draw card feels very Jeskai to me. So it's like, I don't know what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's definitely themed as a teamer card with the teamer watermark, but yeah, it'll be good in both those. I mean, it'll be somewhat synergistic with both of those archetypes. I'm not sure whether it's good. It's still extremely low impact, but
Yeah. I'm going to call this a 4.
yeah, I think it's interesting. It's a card like for some of the other cards we've seen that want you to exile to some other effect. Like you don't really mind exiling this. Like yeah, you lose the harmonize, but all it is 6 mana draw card. It's not a huge effect you're losing, so it's cheap to get in the graveyard if you need stuff in there for a reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, 4 seems good.
Next up.
Ooh, Rennie's Rebuff, 1 in a blue sorcery. Return target creature to its owner's hand. Harmonize 6, 5 in a blue.
Oops. Sorry, guys. Borks.
Yeah, 2 mana bounce spell with the chance to play it again.
I typically don't like just bounce spells that do nothing, especially at sorcery speed, but the fact that you get to do it again and trigger like the cards leaving your graveyard and all of that, I think that makes it very, very playable. So 5.5.
5.5, yeah.
Veteran Ice Climber, 2 mana for a 1/3 vigilance. This creature can't be blocked. Excuse me? When this creature attacks, up to 1 target player mills cards equal to this creature's power. It just can't be blocked straight up. Huh.
Yeah.
That's interesting design.
Play this, it's a 20-turn clock.
I mean, it's playable. It's pretty low impact. It's cool that you can, like, mill people out in board stalls, but, like, you can also just kill them over 20 turns in board stalls.
Yeah, you want a way to pump this, right? You want these renew cards to put counters on it, or you want equipment, something like that.
Yeah. But the counters are an Abzan, so...
Yeah, renew a lot of the renew cards put counters on things.
So Sultai.
Yeah. You can also mill yourself if you want to, if you have graveyard stuff that you want to fill.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think this is playable. It's a little weird.
Yeah. No, I agree with that.
Rating wise, it's certainly going to make the cut. It's a 2 mana 1/3 with a keyword that also can't be blocked. So I mean, we're just here for it. I think that this could get stupid. So I'm going to say it's like 6.
Yeah, I agree, but it's got a nice little mix of small benefits. If you can pump it, you can attack and still pay for harmonize, even if it's only 1 mana off with this card.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you get some bonuses.
All right, Wingblade Disciple, 3 mana for a 2/2 with flying and flurry. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, create a 1/1 white bird creature token with flying. 8.
This is where I'm going to start. This is where I'm going to start playing those 1 mana draw card.
Yes, absolutely. This is we had one of these in the last Fairy Tale one, or was it Fairy Tale?
Last Eldraine?
Yeah, I think so. Like the little fairy guy that made a little Fairy Idiot when you when you drew a second card or something?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was
Like
the
those
draw
cards are
2 in
just, you
turn.
make 1 or 2 birds and your opponent's like, well, shit, I need to spend my, murder on a bird. Like, this sucks. Like,
Yeah, anytime.
they find the answer for
Any,
this, and then you just peck them to death over 3 turns.
yeah, anytime the 3-mana 2/2 is demanding removal is always good.
Yes. And hopefully you've gotten 1 or 2 birds out of it. Call it a day.
Yeah.
This is just an 8, I think.
Yeah, and I'd also imagine most of the time your gameplay, you're not often going to play this on 3. You're going to play this on 5 with a 2-drop right after it to at least get that 1 bird.
Agreed. Okay. Wingspan Stride, 1 mana for an enchantment. It's an enchant creature. It gets +1/+1 and has flying. You can pay 3 to return the aura to your hand, which is cool because now you don't have the like downside of what you typically have the downside of, right? Like, that's great.
I mean, you have to have 3-mana open, like in response to the removal spell or something.
Oh, for some reason when I read it in my brain, it was return it from the graveyard.
No, what this is great for is playing multiple spells, right? End step, return it to your hand, and now you've got a 1-mana spell you can play on the next turn.
That is true. In my head, it was like because we've seen a lot of them recently that if you have speed, you could replay it. Like, I feel like they've just kind of made the cheap enchant auras better because they've kind of given you those fail safes. But yeah, this is still solid, I think, and you can just kill people with a flying green idiot.
Yeah, it's very cheap investment, and the fact that you can get that either replayability for Jeskai or just to put it on something better later. Like, you don't mind, quote unquote, wasting this on a 2/2 maybe, because you can, if you really need to later, you can spend the mana to bounce it back and play it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Rating wise, I think it's fine, but like it's a very cuttable card and it synergizes well, but it's like not a home run. So just a 5 for me.
Yep, 5.
All right. I keep thinking we're done with blue and the W's go on forever.
This is the last card. It's Winter Night Stories. 2 in a blue sorcery, draw 3 cards, then discard 2 unless you discard a creature. And Harmonize 4 in a blue.
This seems
so it's
good.
The latest in your like thirst for knowledge, compulsive research type. Discard 2 cards unless you discard a certain thing.
Yeah.
This one you get to play again.
And it'll trigger all of your like exile from graveyard card synergies. So it's even better than that in limited. I think this card's great. I'm gonna say this is like 6.5.
Yeah, it's the easiest one of these, other than maybe compulsive research, that we've seen to get to keep an extra card because you've got plenty of creatures to discard, as opposed to like artifacts or enchantments like we've seen some other ones. But yeah, I like this card a lot.
Awesome. So that looks like it is indeed the end of blue. For those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, please leave us a comment. Let us know what you guys think of blue. Don't forget to go back and re-watch the introduction. That's the most important one. Yanks, how did you like blue? It's your favorite color. What do you think?
There's a lot of card draw, which I like. A few pretty busted rares, but probably more so. And we didn't see a 10 like we saw with Elspeth, but we saw some 9s and some 8s. Yeah, I think so it looks good. Not a lot of removal, but that's blue for you, so.
Yeah. All right. Let us know in the comments what you guys think of blue, and we'll see you guys in the next one when we go over all of the black cards coming up in Tarkir Dragonstorm. See you guys in the next one. Bye!